1947 marked the end of British rule in India, and the beginning of one of the largest, most violent mass migrations in history. Fear and uncertainty gripped the land as neighbors turned on each other, homes burned, and millions were uprooted. Partition split British India into India and Pakistan, but it also divided hearts and minds. Hindu nationalism, especially the ideology of Hindutva, played a pivotal role in fueling this tragedy. Organizations like the RSS promoted the idea of a Hindu Rashtra, clashing with India's pluralistic traditions. The politics of fear and resentment, stoked by Hindutva, deepened the rift between communities. Partition's horrors were the result of decades of escalating tensions, not a sudden eruption. To understand this legacy of pain, we must examine how Hindutva rose to prominence. Hindutva, or Hinduness, is a political ideology that defines Indian identity through Hindu values alone. It emerged in the early 20th century, shaped by leaders like Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. Savarkar's 1923 pamphlet argued that Hindus were a distinct nation, excluding Muslims as outsiders. This exclusionary vision gained traction among those who felt threatened by Muslim nationalism. Groups like the Hindu Mahasabha and the RSS embraced Hindutva, promoting Hindu unity and viewing Muslims as a threat. The RSS, founded in 1925, spread this ideology through paramilitary training and propaganda. By the 1940s, the stage was set for confrontation. As British rule waned, tensions between Hindus and Muslims exploded, often stoked by Hindu nationalist groups. The 1946 Calcutta riots, sparked by the Muslim League's Direct Action Day, spiraled into brutal violence. RSS cadres retaliated fiercely, deepening the divide and shocking the nation. Gandhi's calls for unity were met with hostility from Hindu nationalists, who saw partition as a chance to realize their vision. The violence made peaceful coexistence seem impossible. The Indian National Congress officially sought a united India, but internal divisions ran deep. Leaders like Nehru opposed partition, fearing chaos, while Patel saw it as a necessary if painful solution. Relentless pressure from the Muslim League and escalating violence forced Congress's hand. Partition was a desperate attempt to prevent further bloodshed, but it unleashed catastrophe. The decision would haunt the subcontinent for generations. Muhammad Ali Jinnah envisioned Pakistan as a modern democratic state, not a theocracy. But the violence of partition, much of it fueled by Hindu nationalist groups, shattered that dream. Millions of Muslims fled India in terror, victims of targeted violence and persecution. This mass exodus transformed the region's demographics and left deep scars. The trauma of displacement still echoes today. Partition was a brutal rupture, not just a line on a map. Punjab and Bengal saw horrific campaigns of ethnic cleansing as mobs targeted people for their faith. Hindu nationalist groups incited violence, driving Muslims from their homes, while Hindus and Sikhs fled Pakistan in fear. Survivors' testimonies reveal the unimaginable brutality of this period. The forced migration created one of history's largest refugee crises. Its scars, physical and psychological, still haunt both nations. Partition's trauma still shapes India and Pakistan, fueling mistrust and conflict. In India, the RSS re-emerged after Gandhi's assassination, spreading Hindu nationalism through the Bharatiya Janata Party. Many saw partition as vindication of Hindutva's worldview. In Pakistan, the influx of refugees and partition's wounds fueled religious nationalism and instability. The legacy of partition continues to define both countries' politics and identities. Its shadow remains unbroken. 78 years later, partition's legacy remains unresolved and deeply painful. The violence and displacement of 1947 still haunt both nations, poisoning their relationship. Exclusionary ideologies like Hindutva played a major role in making partition, and its aftermath, so devastating. Partition was not inevitable. It was the result of choices driven by fear and ambition. Healing requires reckoning with this shared pain and rejecting the politics of division. Only by embracing pluralism can India and Pakistan hope for peace. The future depends on learning from the past.